Cinema 5D at NAB 2016 is brought to you by B&H, the professional source for all your video needs. Tilta, arm your camera. Artlist, inspiring music for your films. Blackmagic Design, creating amazing solutions for film, post-production and television. And Atomos.
So the next big thing for us is a number of updates to our Ursa camera range, and what we wanted to do with Ursa was really increase the amount of value that people got from Ursa. So we're introducing at the show a couple of new software updates and of course a new hardware update for the camera. The first of those software updates I think is really important for our customers who have been using Ursa to date, especially those working in the cinematography, film, drama, documentary environment. First thing is a completely new user interface, and into that we've added some fantastic new features within the camera. One of those is the ability to add 17-point tetrahedral LUTs into the camera. Another one of the nice features is the ability to have user presets. So if you have multiple operators, each operator can have a different set of presets for the camera and then can load them depending upon what they need. There's been lots of little software enhancements to try and improve general workflow. So little things like white balance control, rather than having a series of fixed defined presets, you now have a complete variable. We've also added a smart shutter angle selection tool. So based upon frequency of voltage of input, it will then determine which is the most appropriate set of shutter angles to use to eliminate flicker. So that's going to be available for free later on this year. It will initially be on the Ursa Mini and then be transitioning up to the full Ursa as well.
Okay, so when exactly this year, you don't know yet?
We don't have a time frame in mind yet. We want to get it done as soon as we can do, obviously, but we don't want to put a fixed time frame because ultimately Ursa as a camera today is a great camera. It's got some fantastic functions and features. It's doing a brilliant job. I think we want to get this absolutely right in terms of its look and its feel and making sure everything is working 100% before we get it out.
Let's move on to the hardware upgrade for the Ursa Mini that you announced.
So here at the show and available now is an update to Ursa, which is a new software release that allows Ursa to be controlled like a studio camera from our ATEM production range, or in fact any software application or hardware that's using the Ursa control protocols. So that's available now. In addition to that, we're also launching a brand new viewfinder. This is a 7-inch screen viewfinder that mounts to the Ursa. It's a beautiful piece of hardware because it has a variable control resistance mounting head so that you can move the viewfinder in any direction independent of the camera location. And it gives you a high definition view of everything that's going on within the Ursa camera. Now it has its own independent control system, so for things like peaking, for contrast, for brightness.
Is this a touchscreen as well?
It's not, no. So this is completely independent. The things that the camera operator needs, he has access to via a menu system here. So for example, zebra, false color, guides, look at each independent channel. For checking his exposure, he's got meters.
Okay, let's move on to another announcement.
So this is another announcement at the show, one of many. We're launching 2 new microconverters at the show, and these are an evolution of our mini converter range. There's 2 versions of it, an SDI to HDMI and HDMI to SDI. They're designed to be small, compact, lightweight and low cost. And the intention behind these is very simple in terms of converting SDI to an HDMI output or vice versa. Now the design behind these is slightly different because we wanted these to be converters that you could throw in your camera bag, you can put them anywhere. Anytime you're going out on a job, you have one of these with you. It had to be low cost enough, but also we wanted to make sure that you could power it off a computer-based power supply, off a USB port or off a battery. The same sort of battery that you use for charging a mobile phone, so that you could take this into a hotel room or somewhere similar. You could take an SDI output from your camera or maybe from a laptop that you're working on and then connect it over HDMI to a display device, or vice versa. You could go the other way and HDMI to SDI. So these have been launched at the show. They're available now, they're in stock, and they're priced at $85.
Nice. And there's a separate one for SDI to HDMI and vice versa.
And vice versa, yeah. So the only difference being on the SDI to HDMI, you have a loop out for the SDI, and on the HDMI to SDI, you get 2 outputs.
Okay. Anything else we want to cover?
There's a lot of new stuff at the show, Nino. I think one of the big things that's going to have a big impact at the show this year is Resolve 12. We're announcing version 12.5 this morning. It's available now for public beta. So if you want to have a look at it, download it. There's over 1,000 improvements within the software. There's 250 new features that we've added in, including HDR support. And I think that for us is going to be a big announcement at the show, especially for anybody using the Ursa cameras. So download it, have a look at it. There's a lot of new stuff that's been added into the editing side of the application. information. So take a look at Resolve, both as an NLE and as a color grading suite, and it's free, it's online, and it's downloadable now.
Great. I think we'll take a close look at that in a separate post.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Not at all, Nino. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.